world, everything works on business. Whether a smallest tea stall on the street corner to the global chains like Apple, Amazon, or Accenture, everything works on business. Ultimately, every product or every service or everything exists to create a value, ultimately to make business. So either it's a farmer selling his crop in the market or whether a software company selling its services, ultimately to make that 1 rupee. Behind every brand, there's a risk, resilience, and hard decisions. We break down the real life business stories and what made them to move forward and why they failed, and let's analyze together. And so this isn't just the stories, it's an inspiration one day you can directly apply to these lessons. Hi everyone, I'm Nikhil and welcome to my YouTube channel Symi'snikhil. So let's start with the most iconic and controversial and comeback story of the Maggi noodles.
India's favorite snack, Maggi. On Maggi.
Maggi. Most of us in India instantly connect with noodles. So it's a brand. It's we might be knowing this brand since 1 or 2 decades, but the story has started since 140 years ago in Switzerland. The brand was founded by Julius Maggi in 1884. At the time, Switzerland was experiencing rapid industrial growth. Most women were joining the workforce. Julius saw the opportunity and create quick, nutritious, and affordable food. He launched products like high protein soups and seasonings. His value proportion is saving time and providing nutritious food in the meanwhile. So think of it like this: selling umbrellas the moment monsoon starts, meeting the needs when it matters. Soon, Maggie became a household name in Switzerland. So this is called brand positioning. How your people wanted to be noticed. For an instance, in India, Tata positioned itself as the safest cars. Same likely, the Maggie positioned itself as a quick and nutritious and meal helper in Switzerland. Maggi merged with Nestle, which gave it access to global distribution network, meaning it could send products worldwide through existing supply chains, retailers, and marketing channels. This is called market expansion. Maggi didn't copy paste the same Swiss recipe everywhere. It went for product localization and adapting to the local taste and preferences. By the time Maggi entered India, it's been fighting with the global giants like Knorr, Campbell, and Nestle worldwide in an instant noodles market segment. Nestle India decided to replicate the same strategy that had worked in Switzerland, targeting working women. So on paper, it made sense. In reality, it's a disaster in India. In late 80s and 90s, there are less number of working women, and the noodles segment was completely unheard in India. So they were not aware what exactly the noodles is. So it's a classic case of market misalignment. How good your product is. If you're trying to sell snow jackets in a country like Dubai, it won't work out. Sales were slow, customers were confused. In pre-social media era, awareness has to come from the word of mouth and advertising. But how can you convince people to eat something they've never seen before? That's where the Nestle India started to rethink its approach. They conducted market research, gathering insights about what Indian families ate, how they cooked, and what parents wanted for their kids. And market research is simply listening to the audience before deciding your next move. Nestle India realized no matter how much they spend on marketing agencies or advertising, they cannot directly force the customers to buy their products. So the research team identified a real game changer. Those are kids. Discovered the while parents did the buying, kids have bester power. The ability to influence parents by repeatedly asking something until they agreed. This was a catch point. New strategy was ready. So instead of promoting it for the working woman as a meal, it got repositioned as a quick and tasty snack for the children, especially when children come home after the school. Here, you have to know the brilliant marketing strategies implemented by Maggie in the initial days. So let's break down those strategies and how a snack is completely changed and is part of a life. So the first and important strategy was creating a bond between mother and the children, and they were completely successful this time. So, so what was the strategy? So, in most of the ads, the story was simple. A child comes home hungry and tired from the school. Instead of long wait, the child calls out Maggie. In just 2 minutes, the mother prepares it with a smile. The child is happy and mother feels proud. And Maggie becomes a bridge between them. This strategy worked because it spoke both sides. Children saw Maggie as a fun and tasty, and mothers saw it as a quick and easy and caring. By repeating these warm family moments in every campaign, so Maggie successfully turned noodles into a symbol of love, comfort, and togetherness. So that's how Maggie created one of the strongest emotional bond in Indian advertising history. Maggie's biggest breakthrough came from one simple promise. It's 2 minutes Maggie. This wasn't a just catchy line, it was smart positioning. At a time when cooking usually took a long time, Maggie offered something new, a hot, tasty meal that could be ready in just 2 minutes. That message instantly appealed to students, young professionals, and anyone looking for the quick snack. 2 minutes made Maggie stand out in the crowded food market. It wasn't about being the cheapest or the fanciest, it was about being the fastest. People experienced how easy it was boil water and add noodles and masala and have a meal ready almost instantly. The brand promise felt real. So by owning speed and convenience, Maggie positioned itself not just as a noodles, but as a quick to go to fix for hunger. That simple idea is what made Maggie a household name across India. So another important strategy is small SKU strategy. So small SKU for penetration. Maggie introduced tiny, low-priced packs, sometimes just 2 rupees, so anyone could afford to try it. So this didn't make big profits on these, but it can make market penetration strategy. Hook customers with an affordable trail, then naturally led them to buy bigger packs later. So, from these approaches and strategies, Maggie turned from an unknown foreign product into an household name in India. By the time other instant noodles brand entered the market, Maggie had already built a deep emotional connection with the families. Everything was going perfectly until a sudden storm hit.
Months after India's favorite snack was pulled off shelves, the Bombay High Court is set to deliver its verdict on the ban imposed on the instant noodle brand Maggi.
India's favorite snack, Maggi noodles, now fighting battles on multiple fronts. Well, today, the Delhi government said high lead levels had been found in 10 of 13 tested Maggi noodle samples. After Maggi was banned by the FSSAI, that is the food regulator in the country. This is after the entire controversy when some tests had proven that Maggi contained high levels of lead and MSG.
Tests in some states claimed Maggi contained excess lead and monosodium glutamate beyond permissible limits. What followed was one of the biggest food controversies India had ever seen. By 2015, Maggi owned almost 80% of instant Maggi noodles market. The Food Safety and Standards of Authority of India (FSSAI) banned it nationwide. 5 long months, shelves were emptied, sales were halted, and trust was shaken overnight. And the loyal fans were left craving their favorite 2 minute snack. During the ban, Nestle stayed connected with the customers. On the social media, they've shared heartfelt posts and messages and memes, and we miss you to campaigns. Fans replied with the stories, photos, and even memes about the missing Maggie, turned Maggie into an emotional moment of shared nostalgia. On the other hand, competitors like Sunfeast Epi, Top Ramen, and other local brands rushed to grab the gap. But Sunfeast Epi shares were jumped from 12% to 30% during the ban, and none of them recreated the emotional connect with the Maggie.
News for Maggi lovers. Nestle India today relaunched its popular Maggi noodles in India 5 months after they were banned.
Where the Bombay High Court has lifted the ban on Maggi.
When Maggie returned after rigorous safety tests and reapproval, it bounced back with force, reclaiming around 60% of the market share within the few months and eventually regaining leadership. The message was clear. Maggie wasn't just a food, it was a comfort. Maggie ban was a reset, but the bond it had built with the Indians over decades were unshakable. Even when the shelves were empty, people still spoke about Maggie, remembered its taste, and waited for its return. That loyalty, built since childhood, became the biggest asset. This was the greatest comeback in the business history. When Maggie returned, it wasn't just a business as usual. Nestle leveraged the emotional connection to grow beyond the home kitchens. Have you ever observed Maggie is not just doing business through selling, it's also doing B2B. That means business to business. Maggie thrives not only through direct sales but also through B2B channels, partnering with fast food stalls, college canteens, hill station caves, dabas, and even street vendors. Many small eaters serves only Maggi-based dishes from classic masala to cheese and creating an entire microeconomy around the brand. This B2B presence has made Maggi a part of India's fast food culture. France's reach is generational. The ones who pestered their parents to buy the packs of Maggi are now the adults and who have the purchasing power for their family and for themselves and all. Maggi is no longer just a product, it's a shared habit, a business opportunity, and a cultural icon that sells in every corner of the country, both inside and outside the home. Looking ahead, Indian instant noodles market is projected to grow around 15% of CAGR in the next 5 years. So let's take my own example. I consciously try to avoid eating Maggi, but I end up buying an 120 rupees pack 8 serve Maggi. After covering every possible cost, advertising, operational, machinery, workers, and Nestle still earns around 15% of the profit on each pack. That means my single monthly purchase translates into 15 rupees profit for them. That means 15 rupees multiplied 12. That means it's almost 180 rupees profit for them. Now multiply with this with the millions of the customers. That's where you will really find FMCG magic. In this business, it's not about 10 or 15 sale price. It's about scale and frequency. When a product becomes an household habit, every small scale compounds into a massive annual profit. The momentum suggests that Maggie's strong brand equity and widespread distribution will continue to drive in success. So, with this, let's conclude the case. So, even Maggie in the market with no existing habit of eating noodles, Maggie successfully created a demand and changed the consumer habits through its right marketing strategy and proving the right targeted efforts can build entirely new customer bases. So the key takeaway from the Maggie's case study is strong consumer connection, swift corrective action, and transparent communication can turn a major setback into an historic comeback. If this type of content excites you, please do make sure do subscribe for my YouTube channel and
Stay tuned for the upcoming videos.
okay, అంత ఒక చిప్స్ ఆపేస్తాను. Do follow on Instagram.